over the rendering side of things. Like, the job of the browser is to get pixels onto your screen, right? That's its job. And so it's kind of important that we understand the entire length of that process. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I figure there's loads about the first part, the page load. I really want to talk about that second part. I am going to talk about this from a Chrome-y perspective, but the thing is, most modern browsers go through a very similar process. They do have slightly different names for certain things, but the idea of how they get the pixels to the screen is very much the same. So we're going to go through this primer, and then we're going to look at some of the tooling around it. So we start off with our humble GET request. Hello. Now, a server is going to respond, unsurprisingly, with some HTML. Surprise, we get tag soup. So the browser, of course, has to do this parsing. It does, as we discovered, some very clever things about look ahead and so forth. But really what we care about is the fact that it's parsing. DevTools is going to show you this as parse HTML whenever that crops up. So if you shove something in the DOM as a string within our HTML, parse HTML. Now, we construct ourselves a tree off the back of this, which looks like this in this case. Great. Now let's just call that the DOM, because that's easier than keeping that tree around. And the next step that we actually have is the CSS. And that's going to come from the user agent style sheets, inline styles, your style sheets, any other plugins that you put in. And we're going to combine these two, and this shows up in DevTools as recalculate styles. And we basically combine the two, and there is a sound effect for this, which looks like... Not a lot of people know that. If you actually listen to Chrome very carefully, that's the sound it makes. It's not true. So our render tree looks somewhat similar to our DOM, except the things are now missing, right? Like head is switched off, scripts switched off, right? It kind of looks like a DOM, but it's not our DOM, it's our styled DOM. So if we have some CSS that says, don't display the section paragraph, why did you include it? I don't know. There we go. That disappears from our render tree. If we are including pseudo elements, yep, that's going to appear right after in the tree. Okay? But of course, we have a lot of CSS. The actual CSS in place here doesn't really matter too much. And this is the process that you saw with the animation before for the reflow in Mozilla. We call this layout in Blink and WebKit land. And it kind of looks like this, really. Geometry for the page, layout. It's basically figuring out where all the boxes are on screen. And I can't impress upon you the cost